Hi, Year 9. We're going to go ahead and start Chapter 8 with a little bit of revision today. So again, as I told you, while I'm out today, just go ahead and open up your notebooks, try these 2 questions on your own, and then we'll lead into the 8A notes and practice questions. So for right now, what I want you to think back to is how we actually simplify when you're given brackets and you have one number outside the brackets and it's multiplying by a binomial, which is 2 terms added together, on the inside of the brackets. So what we do is expand, and if you'd like to push pause now and try it on your own first, then you can push play and see how you did. Otherwise, if you really are not sure, we'll go ahead and put equals -2 times 5. Remember, we're multiplying. -2 by positive 5 is -10. -2 by positive x is -2x. And then this negative x is outside the brackets, so we just bring it down. Combining like terms, so notice your -2x and negative x can be combined. So we have -10 stands alone and -3x. Now, it's proper to always put the term with the x first. However, both of these lines are correct. All right, so both of those are correct working. And that's as simple as we go. So what we do is, again, expand, and then we combine like terms. And that's part of simplifying. All right, so we're going to do that one more time, just to jog our memory. This time we have 2 sets of brackets. So this 4 will multiply by 2x, and it will multiply by 1. This -3, I have to include the negative with the 3, will multiply by x and by 2. Again, you can pause here, try it on your own if you haven't already, and then push play and see how you did. So 4 times 2x is 8x. 4 times 1 is 4. -3 times x is -3x. So when I write it down, it looks like 4 minus 3x, which is correct. -3 times 2 is -6. I have now expanded, so now I'm going to look for like terms. So the 8x and -3x can be combined. So that makes 5x, and then 4 and -6 is -2. So again, I have simplified as much as possible. And this is all part of expanding. So let's take a look now as we enter Chapter 8 and see how this is related to what we've done previously. So Chapter 8A, expanding binomial products. So products, remember, is a multiplication problem. So we're multiplying 2 terms or 2 expressions together. And then binomial, so a binomial product, bi meaning 2, and a monomial is just kind of a term, so, or a product of a number and a pronumeral. So we have a binomial just looks like we have maybe an x plus 2, or it could maybe be 3x minus 5. But every time that we are talking about a binomial, we have 2 terms. Okay, so 1, 2, 1, 2. If we're asked to expand, that's what we were doing on the previous slide. So expanding meaning to get rid of the brackets, right? Multiply over addition. So we are going to take that 5 multiplied by the x, 5 multiplied by the 2, so that we can write this out as 2 separate terms without having to multiply over the brackets. All right? So now the difference with this is we are now going to expand binomials. So what does that look like? There is a set of 2 binomials. Here's one binomial, and here's another binomial. So this is binomial number 1, binomial number 2. Notice they both have 2 terms, okay? And it's a product because we are multiplying them. So I'm going to show you guys 2 methods that you are welcome to use to multiply these 2. The first method is called the box method. So if you're a visual person, this is similar to the Punnett square in biology. You guys might have seen something like this. Now, this is more a visual method, and we won't use this very often, but just so you guys can see what we're doing. If you guys think of all the combinations I think for a Punnett square in biology, you do this with eye colors or genes. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at our two binomials. So x minus 6, the minus goes with the 6, and x plus 2, so x and then positive 2. And what we're doing is we're multiplying and putting the products inside. So what you notice is x by x is x squared. X, so this row by column, x by negative 6 is negative 6x. 2 by x is 2x. And 2 by negative 6 is negative 12. So we basically multiplied every possible combination of those two terms with the other two terms. And what we notice is that on the diagonal here, those are our like terms, 2x and negative 6x. Those are the ones that can be added together because they're like terms. So my final answer comes out to be x squared, negative 6x and 2x makes negative 4x and negative 12. So this is a more visual representation of how we multiply. However, let's just go back and use the distributive law like we did before. So if I had x minus 6 times x plus 2, I can multiply this x by this x, but then this x also has to distribute to the 2. However, if we stopped there, we would have forgotten about the negative 6. So the negative 6 also needs to multiply by the x and by the 2. So we basically multiply every combination that's possible so that we distribute the x and the negative 6 individually. So we basically are doing that expanding process twice that we did on the last slide. So x by x is x squared. X by 2 is 2x. Negative 6 by x is negative 6x. And negative 6 by 2 is negative 12. Once you expand, remember we expand first, and now we combine like terms to simplify. So if we are going to combine like terms, I'm going to grab the 2x and the negative 6x and put those together. So x squared, negative 4x, and minus 12. So we wind up with the same answer both ways. This method too is a preferred method just because with setting out your working, it's going to work well with showing your lines of working. But in case we forget or if we need more of a visual representation, you can always try the box method. All right, guys, go ahead and try the second one on your own. And we're going to try it just by expanding. So just try to use method 2 for this one. And then you can push play and check to see how you went. All right, guys, you just heard a guest appearance by Mr. Baker over there. So let's go ahead and do our distributive process. So here we go. 3x by 2y, so 6xy. 3x by 4x, 12x squared.
Hi, Miss.
Hi, Mr. Baker.
How are you going? What are we doing today?
Distributive property.
Fantastic. Show me how to do it, please.
Oh, my goodness. We're on the next one. Negative 8 by 2y.
44.
Oh,
44. 64.
Mr. Baker needs to try this one again.
Oh, dear.
Negative 8 by 4.
Oh.
Is you?
30, 32.
Woo!
32x.
Awesome.
Don't forget the x.
Do we have any like terms?
Oh, do we have like terms?
For this one.
X squared, y, and an x. Oh, my dear.
Any like terms?
No, that doesn't look like...
No.
That goat doesn't There's a goat, a horse, a donkey, and a rat. There's definitely no like terms, Miss.
So does that mean are we done?
We are done.
All right.
But we can put it in order, I suppose.
What would be a proper order to put it in?
Probably the higher power would go to the front, I would say.
So maybe the x squared first?
Yes, let's put 12x squared there.
Let's put that one first.
Well, much of a muchness.
Which one we go second?
Oh, dear me. Could be the 6xy.
Yeah, let's go with the 6xy.
And finish off with the usually alphabetical order, so minus 32x.
That's a good one.
Minus 16y. That is fantastic.
So even better.
Even better.
Both correct, this one preferred.
Oh, most definitely.
Nicely done. Thanks,
Gotta
Mr.
go,
Baker.
Miss. See ya.
Bye.
Enjoy.
All right, so thank you, Mr. Baker. Heading on to applications. So you guys are going to have number 8 assigned to you in your practice set work. However, just to walk you guys through how you would like to start to set this up. You have a picture frame 5 centimeters wide. It has a length that is twice the width x. Okay, so we have a picture frame that's 5 centimeters wide. We have the length is twice of the width. Find an expression for the total area of the frame and the picture. So the frame itself is 5 centimeters wide as it's shown here. And then you've got twice the width of that for the total area of the frame and the picture. Okay, so we don't know how wide. There we go. Helps if we scroll it over. Since they show you that the frame is x centimeters wide, and then the length is 2x, and the width is 5, just here. So that means up here, we also have 5, and this whole side is x. So if I want to find the distance of just the width of the picture, if I know this is 5 here, this is 5 to here, and the whole distance is x, basically what I'm looking at is x is the whole distance minus 10. So take away 5 from either end, okay? So my picture itself is going to be x minus 10 for the width, and then my length of the picture, again, this is 5 and this is 5, and the whole distance is 2x. So this would be 2x and take away 10. So it says find for the total area of the frame and the picture. Find an expression. So an expression for the area of the frame. So this would be the outside and minus the inside, right? Just the frame itself. So I would be taking the outside like we did last chapter. So 2x by x minus the picture. So the picture would wind up being 2x minus 10 by x minus 10. So 2x minus 10 by x minus 10. All right, so find an expression for the total area of the frame and the picture. So there's your frame. And then of just the picture, which is the inside, that would just be the 2x minus 10 by x minus 10. All right, so just getting the idea down that we have 2x by x is the area of the entire outside, so the whole gray part, even if the inside was filled in, minus you take away the picture. And then for the picture itself, it's just the inside, so the 2x minus 10 by x minus 10. So we have an expression. We've got a lot of, it's numbers and letters, but what it comes down to is just a binomial by a binomial, which is what you were just practicing. So in expanded form for the area of the picture only. So we're only going to take that second expression that we did, the 2x minus 10 by the x minus 10, and we'll go ahead and expand it. So go ahead and push pause here and try to see if you can expand, and then check and see if you get the same answer that I do. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and multiply 2x by x, 2x by negative 10, and negative 10 by x, and negative 10 by negative 10. So for this one, we get 2x squared minus 20x. So 2x squared, 2x by negative 10 is negative 20x. Negative 10 by x is negative 10x. And then negative 10 by negative 10 is plus 100. Remember, you can combine like terms, so 2x squared minus 30x plus 100. All right, guys, go ahead on to our class calendar and go ahead and start the questions for 8A. And then remember, in the second hour today, you guys will have your topic test. All right, have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you guys on Friday this week.